All right, we're live
What's up?
with the man, the myth,
Yeah, that's probably more like it, the myth.
the legend, Jay Kinder.
What's going on, Matt Durbin? How you doing, buddy?
Not too much, man. We're doing great. We're doing great, man. It's been a little bit since we've kind of jumped on here and talked. I know we did early in the year, and then COVID hit,
Right.
and the whole world stopped. And
I don't think you guys stopped. I think you guys are having a record year, right?
we are. We've every month. The last 3 months have been our best month. So
that's a
hard
good
to
streak.
complain about that. Yeah.
Right. That's a good streak.
Yeah. We had a little pause, but things went really well from there, right?
Right.
So I wanted to, like I said, we talked a little bit before we jumped on here. I wanted to bring you on because I wanted to kind of do a recap because we come into EXP and you expect one thing, and then you get here and you might get a bunch of other things. And then I also wanted to kind of go through a couple questions that I have for you because I think we all talk to different agents, and you have how many in your downline now? How many people in your organization that you're partnered with? 4,000?
It's now 4,054 the last time I looked, I think. 4,052.
It seems like it's growing about 50 a day.
Yeah, it's getting. No, I wish it was 50 a day, but it's about it's about 350-ish a month. So it's that growth rate, which is crazy when you think about it. The company's growing ridiculously fast, but even our group is growing faster than the pace that the company is, and so it just that's just testament to people want to be around people that can help each other, right, and that are abundance mindset, and that that are successful and they're at levels that you're trying to achieve. And I think we've just got a special group of people here at EXP that, that are just like the people you want to be around if you're in business.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind, for the people who maybe are jumping on here that aren't familiar with your background, I know you could probably go for.
I can do it. I got
one big fire lot. You can jump on the one big fire lot. You'll get the whole background, but just like a quick summary, like
abbreviated version, mercifully brief.
Version, yes.
So I've been in real estate 23 years. Originally with Coldwell Banker since in '97. I got my real estate license. I was 19. Eventually, I became number 2 in the world for Coldwell Banker. I was selling 500 plus homes a year. And for multiple years was number 2 in the world. And I had this goal of, I had a goal when I was selling 50 homes to sell 100, and then from 100 to go to 500. And, ultimately I realized that, that the goal was not just selling more houses. The goal is to have a lifestyle and to have, ultimate time freedom. And I realized that selling 500 homes a year was not giving me more time freedom. To be honest with you, It was not giving me any freedom. And so, I was always been looking for a better way. And as we've found a better way for our own real estate business, me and my business partner, Mike Reese, started a coaching company, Kinder Reese. And since 2006, we've coached and trained some of the top agents from around the country and helped them become the dominant agent in their marketplace. More importantly, own a business that allows you to have some time freedom, everything doesn't have to depend on you. And that's been our passion. And then in 2016, we set a vision for partnering with agents where we provided even more of the value. So we would provide, the inside sales hire that would make calls in your area, that we would do all the marketing for you, help you build your personal brand. And we were partnering with agents when we came across the model EXP. And the partner model that we had was extremely expensive. You had to pay us $10,000 for a territory, and you had to give us a 50% of the revenue. And so that was, that kept us from being able to work with higher caliber people like you guys, and would have never done that deal with us. We wouldn't be sitting here today if that was the business model we had. Right. And so we saw EXP's business model was a way that we could partner with agents, provide a ton of value and not have to charge anything for it. So, which is, everybody seems to love that concept, right? So,
absolutely,
and I think most people don't even know that, oh, hey, that's why you guys are at EXP, is so, you can partner with agents in the way that you have in the past. They don't have to pay for it. But that's the reason that we moved to EXP. We saw the platform was just a better way for us to get compensated on the back end of what you pay in and your cap, as opposed to charging on the front end. So, and then again, our vision, interestingly enough, Matt, our vision was 2,000 partners by December 27th, 2024 that was our 10-year vision. It was an 8-year vision because we set it in 2016. And so we'd been doing that for 2 years. We've been at EXP almost 3 years now. And now we're at 4,000 plus agents instead of not even probably close to 2,000. So much and no overhead. The overhead's much less for us. It was just a better all around deal for everybody. But yeah, so that's kind of the short story. We've been here at EXP now almost 3 years, and just helping agents the way we always have. Love to work with top caliber people that are growth minded and want to do more in their life, and also have more time off as well. So that's kind of been the long and short of it.
Yeah, and I think too that's one of the biggest things I think that people don't really realize when they come to a place like this is the collaboration and the partnership and the people that you're really like doing business with. Because I think somebody, when they look at an EXP, it's like, we hear about revenue share, we hear about split, we hear about stock, but I think one of the biggest things, us being here now, we're here about 9 months, between 7 and 9 months. So I moved over beginning of the year, and then we kind of brought our team along over the next couple of months. We really started doing business at EXP in March of this year.
March, right.
We hit Icon in August, which we'll talk about that a little bit. But I think, when we came, it was like, well, we looked at the split, we looked at the money. We're like, well, if we don't get any stock and we don't get any revenue share, we still know we'll make more money.
Right.
And then, we came in, now it's like the stock was kind of like an afterthought. Now you see the stock's at like $54 a share.
Right. Yeah.
That's the whole,
that became a much bigger deal, right?
It sure did. And then obviously you got the revenue share side of things. But I think the thing that we underestimated the most is the people that we're in business with and that we're able to tap into. For stuff like this, for example, you and I on a live video here, that wouldn't have happened in another world.
Right.
That doesn't involve EXP, right?
That's right. It really wouldn't. Not that I wouldn't want to do this. I just would never have had the opportunity. It just wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have had the time to spend. And that's just because I had, 40, 50 employees that I don't have to daily manage and lead every day. So my time is spent with it's my perfect day. I mean, this is my perfect day, getting to spend time with people like you. And so it's it's great. It's a win-win for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, like I said, that's one of the things I think we underestimated the most that we love. But it's one of the things that we love the most about the company is the fact that we're able to tap into people like you. And
it's not. Let's dive into that a little bit further, because this is the one thing I try to tell people, that you're probably not going to really truly embrace it until you're in the company for a little bit of time. And it's because of the disruptive technology. It's because of the ability for us to leverage Workplace and for us to leverage our groups that we've created on Facebook and that collaborative approach that we all have. And so it's not just me you're tapped into. You're tapped into some of the top people in the industry on a daily basis. You're getting to see, the coaching calls and all that kind of stuff we do, and all the additional things that we do to add some value. But like just getting to connect, if you have a question for somebody, that's at a really high level, you're all part of the same group. It's not like, I feel like, to me, when you were part of a physical office, that was really the connective tissue that you had with agents that you kind of learn from, or that you're just around all the time. But when you go to a cloud-based environment and you realize, well, hey, I'm connected to all these agents now all across the country, you tend to reach out to some, and they tend to have more open responses to. Well, first of all, there's the fact that you guys were probably the number one agent. You were the number one agent in your office. So you were the smartest kid in the room, so to speak, right? And so, you didn't have the ability to really collaborate as much with other top people that are at that next level. And that's always going to be a limiter to your growth. But and so that goes away inside of this environment where you have all these different people. And then I think the second piece of it is the abundance mindset of, when you're the top dog in your office, or if you're not, most often, the best ideas, I'll be abundant and I'll help you, but you ain't getting my best ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in my marketplace. So I can't give you my very best ideas, because if you're going to go do the same thing as me, then that's a threat to me. And so you don't typically get the best advice in the environment of this bricks and mortar office like we have all grew up in real estate. And that's why I think, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, you did as well, going around to different events and different coaching and all this kind of stuff to learn and grow, because we weren't getting that in the brokerage that we were in. And so that is such a huge piece of the puzzle, that if you're really growth minded, you're probably limited where you're at, where the opportunities become unlimited, and you don't have to fly around the country to collaborate with this caliber of people that we've always tried to get in the rooms with.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's underestimated, that it's really hard to describe to somebody
Right.
until you're here.
Right.
And you feel it and you see it every day.
Right.
And you're on the Facebook group, or even if you're in the on workplace in your state group, or you're in the Honey Badger group, which is our kind of our group,
Right.
or you're even like, I think in the last 2 weeks we've touched base with agents in like 5 different states to tap into them to kind of see how they're doing something that's working, that we could potentially benefit from. And those people would like jump on a call in 2 seconds and will share everything they know.
Right.
For as long as long as you can keep them on there. Like in no other organization has it been like that.
This is the cool thing about this, and it goes back to the financial alignment piece. And it's such a powerful thing. It's just amazing. It's not just an amazing opportunity, the revenue share and all that or whatever, but it's the amount of value people are always consistently trying to add to the group, because they're growing. They have people that they're adding value to in the group. And so they're adding value to everyone in the group when they're trying to add value to those people. Right. And so there's this consistent just feeling of people being overly abundant to try to help and add value and do things and create things and share things that you never would have got, because there was just no incentive for it. There's no reason. I had lots of great stuff. I don't need to share it with people in my office. I would, because I wanted to help people. I always enjoyed it, but you just don't get that. You don't get that flavor that you get here, where everyone is just abundant. And it's again, I believe it's the financial alignment. And anytime you align things to the result that you want, which is you want your best people in the company to always be trying to help other people in the company. Then, and you align that financially, you're going to get a different behavior from people. And that's what we're seeing. That like we're saying, we're trying to describe this to you guys. If you're listening, trust me when I tell you, this is not the same kind of environment you've been in before.
Like nothing I've seen before. Yeah.
Right.
And I think that kind of leads us into, maybe let's talk about the stock for a little bit, because when you say that there's a financial alignment, maybe there's some of that with the revenue share, but it's also like you're receiving stock awards, like you're an owner of the company, and it feels like that. You have a say in what's going on in the company, and so so it benefits you to have other people join the company and grow the company, right? And so it's not like it's like everyone's out here recruiting. It's the fact that you want everybody at the company wants the company to grow and continue to grow.
Heck yeah.
Continue to improve, and the stock improves. And, so that's one of the things I think that we, when DJ and I had talked about it, it was like, well, if we get stock, we get stock. Right. But now it's like, it's crazy. Right. How much stock we have and how much money we've made off of the stock. Right. And so, like, for those of you who don't know, I mean, first deal you do every year, you get a stock award. The first deal that somebody you sponsor the company, you get stock. We just hit Icon. So we have a $16,000 cap at our company. When you hit Icon status, there's certain production amounts that you need to pay to the company to get into that. But you get up to $16,000 back in company stock. So, we hit Icon in August, got $8,000 stock award. I go to the shareholder event and the EXP Con, which I'm going to go to anyway. Right. I get $4,000 more in company stock. And, now I'm going to sit on some Icon panels at the company, which I would have gladly done anyway to help agents that are coming to the company. And I'm going to get another $4,000 stock. So I'm basically going to get my entire cap back in company stock
in a publicly traded company that's doing very well.
Traded company. And not to mention the other stock, not to mention the growth. I mean, I think when we first came in, it was, it was where it was at, and now it's at a number I don't think anybody would have dreamed.
Do you remember where the stock was when you joined in March?
I think it was $6.
$6. So
I think so.
Yeah. So to put this in perspective, the stock's trading, you said it's like 55. I think I saw it hit 55 today, but that's a lot. That's a huge gain. And so, and again, stocks go up, stocks go down. I always tell everybody, hey, listen, as excited as you are today, it's probably going to go down. So just get ready.
Yeah.
It doesn't always go up, but we are a fast growth company and we're growing crazy fast right now. I know Friday we're announced in South Africa is a country we're moving into. I've got a guy there, and I want to go back to something that there's this alignment. There's one piece of the alignment, and you kind of went there, and it's the company, this alignment to the company. And so when I think about, like, my dad, when I was at Coldwell Banker, he was getting a little bit of everything I did. Coldwell Banker was getting 6%, so I was paying them a ton of money. But I could have cared less what Coldwell Banker was doing. I could care less, and they could tell me their vision and what they're doing and all the stuff they're going to do. And I was like, okay, yeah, is this going to affect my split at all? Because unless it does, you do whatever you want to do. I could care less. And I didn't care about the company. I didn't. And the reason was because there wasn't really a value exchange. I didn't have any ownership if the company did well. There was no benefit for me if the company did better or worse. And so that's another piece of the puzzle, that when everyone in the company genuinely wants to see the company do well, it's that revenue share and it's that piece, those two pieces together. Either one of them alone probably wouldn't be enough. But the two of them together creates magic around the culture. And people fighting for the company and fighting to help the company, always positive, no negativity. I mean, I don't see anyone complaining ever, and that's unheard of. It's just we repel that kind of personality, I think, just with this business model. But hey, man, you can win here in every possible way if you're a positive person that wants to help. Then provide some solutions, and it's just cool like that. But can't underscore that enough. But that. I just wanted to kind of mention that because it is, I think,
and I think too, like, I think it's just a different, I was talking to an agent the other day at a large, large brokerage, and it's like, you're at that company, you feel like an employee, right? Like, you're there to serve that broker, that owner, that manager, like all the levels up, like, you're playing by their roles, their split structure, like although you're an independent contractor, you feel like an employee, right. Here you feel like an owner of the company. Like you feel like there's such growth where you're actually building something. Mm-hmm. Whereas before, all you're doing is building your business, and if you didn't do 10 more deals next year or next month, your business was at zero again. Here with those options, with the stock option, with the revenue share option, we're still under EXP, but we're building our business.
Yeah, you're building something for the future. So to put a bow on the stock, right? Like wherever you're at, if you're producing, and especially if you're the type of agent that would likely hit Icon, which in your marketplace, I'm guessing Icon, capping is an easy number to kind of figure out, but Icon is generally like 35 transactions ish, somewhere plus or minus that in terms of production. So. Yeah. So if you're somewhere in that range and you're paying anything at all to anywhere else, that mathematically it becomes a no-brainer to be at EXP. So that's it. I think there's mathematically there's people that just need to do the math. We can help them do the math, and I think a lot of people get stuck not doing the math correctly. But if you do the math, not saying you're going to have any revenue share, not saying it's going to be anything crazy. We don't have to have the stock go 10x up in the next year, but in order for you to be in a better place financially. So that's one piece of the puzzle that the stock is clearly and again, 10 years. If you plan on being in business 10 years, what's it going to be worth? I don't know, but it's worth more than what you're paying, and you're not getting anything for it, right? Like that's just it's just a no brainer. If the stock does very little at all, it's still at least you have something set aside for the future, which is again, I think that makes it. I think most people that join, not everybody, but most people that join did not believe. I remember when I went to the first EXP event when I joined 3 years ago, the stock was trading at $3.61. And I remember meeting people in the hallway. Get this. This is how dumb I was, right? So like, I don't know what the stock's going to do. I mean, I have no idea. They've all these shares that agents get. Like, I don't know if it's going to go up or go down. I couldn't predict it. But inside my mind, I was like, man, the stock may never do anything, because in the hallway, I had met people that were coming up to me and they were just as giddy as we are when we talk about it now, knowing it's at 55, but they were like, when I joined, the stock was 22 cents. And I'm like, dang, like they made some money in this stock. I'm like, it'll probably never go up. It's probably the highest it'll ever be. Right. Just, you tell yourself these stories, but then, it goes from 361 to, now it's at 50 something or whatever. But, and will it go up? Will it go down? Sure. It's going to probably do both. But the reality is as the company continues to grow, the valuation of the company continues to be higher. And you're at the end of your career, I just believe you're going to be happy you bought some stock and through the stock purchase program, the equity program, which you get to buy it at a 10% discount with 5% of your commissions. But then that you're going to have awards that you get. That's a gift. They just give it to you. So super cool. Again, it's just another notch in the belt of making things better for an agent at the end of their career instead of when we get to the end of our career, we have nothing. Right. And so I think that was Glenn went public with this company for one reason, to create ownership. We don't have any debt. We own all of our tech. He didn't raise money. That's what people go public for, is to raise money. He did it to create actual, real tangible ownership. If you're private, then you could give me stock and it's not worth anything unless you ever sell the company. I don't have any way to really liquidate that. And so that was his intention, was I want to make people love this company, want to help us grow it, want to stay here forever. And I'm going to make them owners. And that was an attractive piece of the model.
Absolutely. And one thing to mention too, and you talk about hitting icon and getting that back. Like, even if you're just starting out, like you're going to be somewhere. If you're just getting into this business, you're going to be somewhere 10 years, 20 years. If this is your career, like, all of that adds up over all of that time, and you get none of that anywhere else. Right. Like, if you're starting out and you're getting, like, no matter what you do now, like, there is no building anywhere else, because I've done it.
Right.
I've been in the rat race for, going on 15 years now. Every month it's the same thing. I got to close. How many deals do I got to close this month?
Right.
It never changes. It never goes away.
Right.
Like, no matter what we say we're going to do, we don't save. Like,
right.
I think I saw you guys had the post the other day. It's like, have you ever been to a realtor retirement party?
No, never. Nope.
No, right? Because we aren't wired that way.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important too. Like, when you're first starting out, this is what a better way to grow your business and build for a future than to start with something like this that's actually providing. Right. So last thing I wanted to touch on, and this is the big one. Revenue, like the revenue share option.
Right.
Obviously, you're killing it with revenue share, right? And so,
unbelievable.
What are the things that you hear from other companies? Because I hear them occasionally, like, it's just a recruiting company.
It's silly.
Like, what are the common misconceptions that people think? That don't really get it.
Yeah. So first of all, anybody that says we're just a recruiting company obviously doesn't recognize the fact that every company is a recruiting company. So let me. So once people understand why the agents got the opportunity to earn revenue share at EXP, I think it makes a lot more sense to people. So let me see if I can kind of explain. In order to understand a disruptive model, which we clearly are, you have to understand what was the old way, right? And so what was the old way with Blockbuster, with content? The way we used to watch content was we'd get in the car, we'd drive to a Blockbuster, we would hopefully get the movie, the newest one that's out, and we would bring that home and we would watch it, and then we would have to take it back before it was late, or we get hit with the late fee, right? That was the old way. That was the old model. The new model, Netflix. Click and watch as many episodes as you want at one time. There's no late fees. It's instantaneous. It's easier. It's faster. It's more efficient. It's better. We'll never go backwards, right? That's a disruptive technology that disrupted in the space of content streaming. And so with EXP, the old model was you would sell a region. So the ownership would sell like a franchise. It was a franchise model was the way most of the companies grew. There's some independents that are out there that grew in a little bit different model, much more difficult to grow if they're not franchise, if they're all like company owned or whatever. But the franchise model is the main model that all real estate companies, all the brokerage models, can not talk about agents in our businesses as agents, but the brokerages that are out there. What was their model? Their model was sell a region for $500,000, plus or minus. Usually a few people go in on that. Their opportunity was a territory to sell franchises in, and those franchises would build bricks and mortar. and then they would recruit agents. They would spend hundreds of, millions of dollars if you scale this out, but they're spending all this money, bricks and mortar, and then recruit. There's somebody in your office today whose job, whether they're good at it or not, is to recruit. That's it. And they get their metric on a daily basis is how many agents have you recruited? It's probably on the back end a little bit of retention as well, but it's mainly recruiting. There's a recruiting goal for every person, for every team leader in a Keller Williams, and they either on track or they're not on track, and that's the model. And so they're all recruiting models. The difference was the opportunity for that. What lies in the person who owns the region, and the way they would get paid is you pay that 5 or 6 or 7 or 8% up to the top, and then the ownership would share that revenue off the top with the regional owner. So regional owners were purchasing for $500,000 plus or minus. They would get the opportunity to revenue share off of all the agents eventually in franchises and agents that join those franchises and offices in that particular region. That was the old model. And so when Glenn created a better way, essentially think about brokerage services. What are the services that you get from the brokerage? Primarily, it is support. Okay, that we need support, somebody to answer our questions, somebody to help us with this contract, somebody to, the responsible broker, all those activities, and training are typically the two things that we should be getting from the brokerage services side of things. Help me sell more real estate and help me with any problems and challenges that I have in relation to the business. That's the primary value proposition of a broker. They're going to deliver that, and you're going to be paying them royalties off of that, and you're going to be paying them a split or whatever it is based upon the value that they bring to you. And what most agents have learned is that it doesn't make sense to pay very much for that, because it's not, it's a commodity you can get anywhere for the most part. And so, or if you're like me and we went out and found the training. We didn't, we stayed at our companies for as long as, the relationship. It was my dad, right? I had to leave my dad. That wasn't easy, but I had to tell him I wasn't buying Coldwell Banker because I didn't see the value in paying 6%, to Coldwell Banker forever. And so, so eventually you go out on your own, or you go independent, or you go to a 100% shop, or you go somewhere where you're paying less money because you realize that, the support, now, you get to a point where you can answer most of the questions yourself, or, you can get the answers pretty easily. And so that's the value that the brokerage services are being provided. When Glenn said, we're going to do that in the cloud, it disrupted the whole model. Now there's no need for a region. It's all in the cloud, global. We can deliver support at scale to anyone, just like Netflix can deliver content at scale to anyone. And so we can do that a lot easier, a lot faster than build a bricks and mortar office, spend hundreds of millions of dollars, and really that's a slow way to grow a model. And so we're growing fast because he removed the barriers that were in the model before, which was bricks and mortar. And the fact that you had to have somebody bought a region, somebody had to buy a franchise, somebody had to go recruit. And that was the business model. And so now with EXP, that one disruptor, the technology that delivers brokerage services and support through a cloud-based application is the linchpin to the whole thing. But it did something that would have been a problem, and that is it eliminated the growth mechanism for this company. Nobody bought a region for $500,000 to go recruit. Nobody bought a franchise to go recruit. And now you don't have somebody to go recruit agents to this company in this new business model. This is where Glenn was brilliant. He understood that there's hundreds of millions of dollars being saved in the model now, and that you could recruit agents now anywhere in the country. You don't have to just recruit agents in your region or in your little franchise territory. You could recruit agents anywhere. And that opportunity that people used to pay $500,000 for to get to have just for a region, now he could pass along that same opportunity to an agent that just probably knows at least a handful of agents that they would like to do business with, that are like them, that are good agents. And that agents would like the opportunity to have a passive income. That's not true. If that's not true, correct me. But I think if anybody here watching doesn't want a passive income, we should talk, because you definitely do. I promise you do. It's the best thing you could ever get is a passive income. And so just by helping other agents become aware of the opportunity at EXP, I think what we're doing here today, Matt, is we're educating and informing people as to what this opportunity is. Most people do not understand the opportunity of what EXP is. They don't understand the business model. They don't understand why it is. So they say things like you mentioned, well, it's just a recruiting company. Well, that's somebody who didn't do their research. That's somebody who hasn't been educated and informed. And it's our job to go do that. And we're doing that right now. And so the smart people are starting to figure out what's happening. Okay, so you mean I have an opportunity now? And Glenn said, made a comment. He said, we're going to make the opportunity, by the way, so big that the right people are going to leave companies that they love and they're going to join EXP and they're going to want to help us grow it because the opportunity is so big for them in passive income. And so this is why you attract high quality people in every market. That's what happens first. You get really smart people that just see the model and like, this is dumb, I'm going to come here. And then you get really successful people that have been down that road, been in the rat race and see that this opportunity is way bigger. And as you get those quality people, it starts to attract more people that are like those people. And people, this company grows from people who tell people who tell people who tell people. And the difference is now you get paid and compensated for that in a big way. And so that's just the reality of it. And then the best part, and this is the linchpin in the whole thing. The linchpin in the whole thing is if the people that join the company can actually help you become more successful in real estate, now they're financially aligned to do that. And the value that you're going to get by being at this company supersedes anything you would ever get at any other company. And you mentioned like new agents, right? That are getting in the business, or maybe they've been in it for a little while and they probably feel lost. I know I did. There's no better place you can be than under your wing. Why would you have already broken through all the barriers of what it takes to become successful in real estate? The best thing I could ask for is for you to have a financial upside in my success without me having to pay you. Like, that's the craziest thing ever, right? You mean and this is the other piece that I find fascinating, how brilliant this is, right? So hopefully this like educated, like, aha, I get it now, right? Like that's a big difference in understanding why this model is what it is. The key to the whole thing I have found in coaching agents, right? So like our ideal client came to us doing 30 deals or 25 deals as kind of the minimum. And in order to afford to pay a $1,500 a month coach, that was about where you needed to be. And we just learned that over time is that they run out of money or they didn't quite have enough money to do the things necessary to move to the next level. At EXP, the technology stack that you get is you would spend $1,000 a month on the tech. The first thing we do with coaching clients is that we have to help them with sales and marketing. We have to help them with how to acquire a customer through spending a few $100 in ad spend. But what do you need in order to do that? Number one, you need to be paying us $1,500 a month. Number two, you needed a platform to do it with, which generally speaking was back then it was more like $1,500, but now they're $750 to $1,000. So you're already $2,250 into your expenses before you spend $1 in ad spend. That makes the cost per lead so high that you can't really generate enough leads to get a lot of traction very fast for most people, unless you're at 25 transactions. Now, that being said, well, that's not the case.
And let's not forget, like, in a lot of brokers around here, and you're not on a great split.
Right.
Take 20 off the top or 25 off the top.
Yep.
Before all that.
It's true. Your marketplace is absolutely one of the few that I know of that still has so many really, really, really poor splits being offered to the agents.
It is, man. We're like 10 years behind.
It's crazy. It really is. And that's the first, and it's funny you mentioned that. That is the first thing that we do when we had a coaching client is we asked them what their splits were. Like, listen, if we want to give you a raise, let's start with what are you paying right now? And, and then the question becomes, how many of those deals did the broker actually give you? Right. Because there's some people that are like, yeah, I closed 8 deals last year. They all 8 came from the brokerage. I was like, don't leave, stay where you're at.
Exactly. You
haven't learned enough.
Commensurate with what you're getting from the brokerage.
Right. That's it. Then the value's there for you. Right. So stay if you want to stay. Now, I would encourage you to start learning how to get your own clients, so that you're not at the mercy of the broker. And then you can start earning more. But at that point, they're delivering on some value. If you just leave, how are you going to get 8 deals next year, right? Like you need to make a conscious choice there, right? And so that's the thing. At EXP, you get the technology, you get the coaching and training from all of us. Why? Because we get paid off of the revenue share off of what you pay into the company. You don't pay us anything. You get paid off what you pay into the company towards your cap that you can get back in stock. But and then we're going to get paid a little bit off of that. Not a lot, but just a little bit, enough for us to want to help you be successful. So what do we do every day? We help you become successful. People, I can tell you this, the number one thing I've learned, and this is not just coming from me, but looking back, I had hired a guy to kind of craft my story or whatever of success. And he came down to one thing. He said, seek the best to be the best. You want to be the best in the world? Find the best person in the world that can help you with what your problem is. And I've always done that. I was like, whoever the best in the world is that solve this problem, I'll pay him whatever I got to pay him, but I'm going to go learn from that person. And ideally what you're looking for in mentorship in real estate, the easiest way to success is to find somebody who has found success and then model their success. And ideally someone who's helped other people become successful as well. right? Like we have a track record of not just being successful, but helping others become successful, right? So that's a whole different system, right? Like we have a system for helping you become successful, not just, hey, we made it through the gauntlet and found success, but we have a system for helping you do the same without having to make all the mistakes along the way. And so that's really what you should, if you want to be successful, if you're growth minded and you're humble enough to know that people can help you, and you're smart enough to realize that you're not getting that where you're at, it becomes a no-brainer. This becomes an IQ test if you're joining EXP more than anything. Like if you got a halfway smart anything about you, then you almost can't ignore that this is a better opportunity for you.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things too that I was talking to somebody the other day, and it's like I think the biggest struggle, I think the biggest thing that keeps people from like they know there's a better opportunity somewhere,
right?
But they're so comfortable, like it's hard to get out of that comfort zone for a lot of people, right? Like they've been going to the same office for such, however long. They just have this certain comfort level that they just can't get out of, and there's a better opportunity. I know we did that for a long time. Mm-hmm. We were comfortable, we were happy, but we just knew that this was something that we had to do. Ultimately, we ended up making that decision. But a lot of people are just caught in that. They're caught in that comfort, or they're caught in the brand, or they tell themselves like why they can't do something because they just don't want to get out of their comfort zone. I feel like there's a lot.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of those things. It is difficult. You guys made a difficult decision. We all have friends. We all most of the people, in all honesty, most of the people that join EXP love the company they were leaving, and so that's not an uncommon thing. And it's not your fault that there's a better opportunity out there. And you have to understand you have a responsibility, especially if you're the main income earner for your family. You have a responsibility to do what's best for your family. And, at the end of the day, I believe that you still have the ability to go help all those people come see the light and have the same opportunity at some point, right. And come on board with us. And that's still an opportunity, but you can't just sit back. If you don't have everything in life that you want yet, then you simply haven't learned something yet. You have to continue looking for a better way and look for opportunity. And we always say, we say yes until we have to say no. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, I got an opportunity, I don't care what it is, I say yes until I have to say no. And what I mean by that is I say yes, and the first thing I look at in the opportunity is it in alignment with my core values, who I am as a human being, what matters to me, and the deep-seated values that I have. And if it's in alignment with that and it's in alignment with my vision, then I'm going to listen to that opportunity, and I'm going to continue to say yes until I have to say no. And then eventually, if I have to say no, I'll say no. But I'm always saying yes to opportunity and trying to keep an open mind that there might be something better, or there might be something that could get me there faster. And that's how we ended EXP. If we didn't have that philosophy, then I would have said, nope, not for me. Blinders on. This is better where I'm at. And so that's what I encourage people to do is continue to be open-minded, assume that you're wrong in your thinking, assume whatever you're doing isn't the best way, and there must be something better out there, and then be looking with an open mind. And then I think what you'll find is EXP is what we found.
Man. I think that's a great way to wrap it. I know we went over a little bit on time. I'm sure
man, I'm good.
No, man, I really appreciate you. I appreciate, honestly, you guys have, you've changed our lives and are going to continue to. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you getting on here. I know DJ wanted to come on, but he's like, I'll just sit there the whole time. I'll listen to him. I love DJ. He'll get him on the next one. I know. He's always.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing, man. I love working with you guys. I'm looking forward to what we're doing there in your marketplace and in Pittsburgh. It's great. And if you're watching this and you haven't reached out to Matt or DJ to have a conversation, just have a conveation. Like, just reach out and have a conversation. Man. And there's no harm in that. So exactly. I know these guys can help you.
No hard sell. This is, we now, and I think too, when we first come over, it's hard for us to really. It was hard for us to really get it and understand it. Now that we're here, it's like there is nothing better. There's no better model. There is no better place that you should be. We're 100% sure that we've seen every aspect of it. It's like we're we're now convinced. And unfortunately, it just took a little bit of time. But now it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, this is the process, right? Like, there's no telling how many people that are watching right now. Maybe it's their first time to watch a video. I think the average person has to watch like 6 videos before they join EXP, at least minimum. So, it's an education process. And the more we put out good content and help people understand it, the more people will reach out and ask questions, and we'll be able to help them. So that's the name of the game.
Absolutely. All right, Jay, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, like you said, anybody have any interest, confidential conversation, if you want to just pick my brain, we're here. And if we need to, we'll bring Jay on, and Jay can kind of show you the back end of what he's got going on, and you can see what this thing can grow.
Trust me, you want to do that. If you're thinking about it, you definitely want to do that. I'm happy to get on the call too. So I've got a lot of availability. So let me know. I'm happy to do it.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, buddy. See you, Matt.
Thanks.